Hell yeah. I'm hanging out with my fucking best friend, Desiree Walsh, right now. We're hot off our gas station snack tour. Uh, I love how that's just been a reoccurring joke between you and I, and we don't ever clarify what the fuck we're talking about. You just be like, I'm going on tour with Brian, and we're going to go eat gas station snacks in America.
I
You're
don't
in
understand how
Canada.
going on tour works, and I don't understand why your gas stations are so robust and plentiful in the US. Because in Canada, they're
Robust.
mostly just like, would you like some Gatorade and maybe some jerky?
I don't
Um,
know if they're robust or I just romanticize gas station food at 3 a.m. But if you want to know what touring's like, if you don't sleep at your house, you're just on tour. Did you know that? So you could just sleep in your
okay.
car and you're like, look at me, I'm a road dog now, living La
So,
Vida Loca.
so if
You know,
I do a set in Toronto and then just don't go home for the night, I'm on tour.
yeah, you just find like a nice, well
Okay.
lit parking lot. Maybe you sleep with your keys around your finger because you're a little terrified. Maybe you get some bear mace. You know, it's like a whole vibe. It's fun. And then you go keep going further and further, and you're like, I really should go fucking home. Like, why do I keep driving? So, wait, I thought you were in Toronto. So you're saying if I
Yeah,
just
I am
do,
in Toronto.
so if you just do a show in like your city, yeah, that would be funny to be
And
like,
then
I'm
just
on the
don't go
road.
home. Am I on tour?
I've definitely done that, or more so should have done that. But that was more of cases of drinking. My hometown has and I'm gonna brag right quick, a 24-hour bowling alley, and I have slept there, fucking because it's 24 hours. But here's the beauty in it: you could just sleep in your car in the parking lot. No, 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 no. I rented shoes. I paid for it bowling, and then I fell asleep like in it, like at 3 a.m., just like sprawled. That
Did
that's
they
that's
not
the road.
did they not kick you out of the bowling alley?
Oh, it's my hometown. What are they gonna do? There's like only like 8,000 people or something. I don't know. I'm probably paraphrasing. I think
Connecticut is wild.
yeah. Thank you. You know, I was from Connecticut. I never like.
Yeah.
Well, like I can't like assume being an ignorant American to just be like all the states and like where they are and where
I
they are,
don't.
yeah, so
But
like
I have been to Connecticut once, so I
really,
yes.
where in Connecticut did you go?
New London?
I used to buy weed in there all the time. It's legal now, so this story's probably fine. But yeah, that was like right by where we live. We used to live in Salem, which is coastal, Ham and I. But yeah, that was like the town like to go into to like do things. And
Really?
yeah, at one point we moved. So basically I'm from central Connecticut. It's just a small square. Like
Okay.
an hour you could drive across the whole state, but I'm from central, like the capital, Hartford. Ham and I moved to the shoreline, and then we moved to the top, like on the Massachusetts border, and then we moved all the
Okay.
way to fucking Nebraska.
Okay.
Because she's from New York, not city, the state. It's big.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
stupid.
At one point I thought there were two New York states because
Ooh.
um well, because I thought like Buffalo, everybody rips on Buffalo. So I thought Buffalo and New York City
Mhm.
weren't connected, but there was two New York states. And then I just another
That doesn't sound so crazy, but here's the thing. That's how big New York State is those
which
places
is
are in the same
yeah,
state. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, because Buffalo literally sucks. It's the worst. I don't know. You probably get more snow. I don't know. I feel like I've moved somewhere that gets the exact same amount of snow, but the thing that separates Nebraska from anywhere else I've lived is this wind is fucking ridiculous. Everything's just
Oh,
flat, so nothing blocks it. And I was like, wow, I
oh
didn't
yeah.
realize. Well, when you run a festival that's at a rest stop outside, the wind actually becomes like a big fucking deal all of a
Oh,
sudden.
from Festa.
Yeah, it's that part of America where they have all the windmills. That's how vast the wind is. They're like, let's harness it. Uh, even capitalism's getting in on it. So
That's great.
Toronto's a huge fucking city, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's
That's like boom
the
hopping. I've been
yeah.
there, but I was a teenager. Um, I went on like a band trip. Like I was in
That
symphonic bands.
that's usually why people come, like
Yeah, a
bands
lot of
to
timpani
open.
players and shit like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Is it like
We
does it have a big comedy scene?
It does. It actually does have a very big comedy scene. Like it does. We have um there are two major comedy clubs or comedy franchises in um Canada, I
I like that
think.
you clarified. Franchises is totally different than comedy clubs
Yeah,
because like those are important because like you have like your funny bones, which are like, you know, the McDonald's of like fucking comedy clubs where it's like
uh,
comedy is like fourth most important in those places.
yeah. So Absolute and Yuck Yucks are the two comedy clubs here. And then we have um a guy in Toronto opened a comedy club called Comedy Bar, and that has a location on Bloor Street, and then it has one in the East End on the
Oh yeah.
Danforth.
Fuck yeah. That's awesome. And you do comedy bar a lot. I feel like I see that poster a lot or
Um,
no.
fun fact, friends at home, I'm disabled. I use a wheelchair. Um, yeah, so I use a wheelchair. So Comedy Bar Bloor, like the one on Bloor, is not accessible, but they recently built a new comedy bar on the Danforth, and that is accessible. And so lots of people have been booking me on their shows there, and I've been trying to get on shows there. So I've been there a lot, and then I can walk a little bit if you carry the chair and somebody helps me. So I have been in Comedy Bar Dan or Comedy
Yeah.
Bar on Bloor a little bit too.
Well, that's good
Yeah,
that they have an accessible one because
yeah,
comedy clubs are like, or comedy venues, or are usually like fucking basements, like the least
yeah,
accessible fucking janitor's closets. Like, even if like being able bodied, like just like getting into, you're like, where is it? And it's like, well, you got to go down here, turn on the lights, then get a key from Dan. And you're like, yo, fuck this. Like, I'm not doing any of this shit. Like, so I
yeah,
can't even imagine. And I know I told you this in Mike we did recently, but like Kirk and I were in Vegas together and we had to go down this like maze ramp just to go down like legit 3 steps in this arcade because he's got a cane right now. And every time I'm in one of those, because of your set and your jokes, I'm always like, I would love to see Desiree just react to this bullshit. Cause like
that
it's just
actually
like,
sounds great. That would be like
yeah.
great.
Oh, like as a
Any
concept of a show, I was like, wait, or is that design sound great? Like I didn't know because it seemed
Well,
like
really,
excessive.
I am very pro ramp. So
Yeah,
anytime you have a ramp, I
yeah,
I am usually for it. Designs like that usually mean like it was a very steep grade and they're trying to make it
yeah.
so like you're not going down a ski jump.
Well, I've seen
Um,
those too, and those are like, have you ever even tried to do that? Like, it's like that's not gonna work.
a
It's
lot
not.
of those ramps are actually meant for the beer, not the people.
Right,
Um,
right. Oh,
but
I don't even want to throw this place under the bus because they were well intentioned, but there was a brewery I used to run a really good show at, and you know, one of my friends is in a wheelchair, and she would come to the
yeah,
show, and I would always I felt bad because she's always like calling venues like, is this accessible? And like this was an outside courtyard and like gravel and shit like that, so it'd be like, you know, immediately I'd see her pull up. I'm gonna push her, like help her in. You know, it's tough to fucking navigate that shit through rocks. And then I'm like, I'll get
yeah,
you like at least a couple of your beers so you don't have to like keep going back and forth. But it's not a hard get in the building, thank God. And once you're in
yeah.
the building, it's very small. But their ramp to get in is literally like 2 dudes just dropped like a piece of plywood, and I'm like, yeah, no, like I'm gonna like carry her like a Disney princess or something. Like this is fucking ridiculous. Like, because it's like
Yeah.
that. It's like I don't know. It's like that kind of shit like irked me like always. You know, like just like there's things I never thought about until you were like dealing it with it, you know, or someone dealing with it. And it's like, I don't know. It stinks. And I'm glad that at least, you know, that like now I know like those ramps, that's because of the gradual. So it's a gradual
I
thing. Even though
think.
it seems like monotonous, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Cause like, I don't know. I've tripped just like going up a stage, you know? Just the step up. There's no steps. Like,
Oh,
and I'm
yeah,
5'6", so I'm just like breaking my fucking leg getting
Oh,
up.
like the big, like the jump. There's no step, but you kind of just jump up.
I roll. I like just roll on stage, and then I have trouble standing up because my jacket's too tight or something. Because of course I'm gonna be wearing a blazer in this
You
scenario.
have to.
Yeah.
It's illegal to not, for friends at home. It's illegal to not do comedy, especially if you're a man in a jacket.
Mm-hmm. We're not allowed to wear
Especially,
shorts, and we have to
yeah,
have a
no.
jacket on. Yeah.
But you have to have a jacket on, preferably leather or a blazer. Um, Especially if it's summertime, you have to have those as a male comedian, or you
Mm-hmm.
will be arrested and possibly put in jail for 25 years.
Oh, and no open-toed shoes. Because you
Yeah,
can't
and
do that. You can't be the guy in socks, sandals, and a leather jacket. People will get very confused about your comedy. Also, only one leather jacket on a show. You can have more than one blazer, and you know, obviously, you can have 15 dudes all wearing flannel. That's clearly acceptable. But one
yeah,
leather jacket.
guarantee.
Two were like, this is bullshit. What is this? Two Dennis Learys now? I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Are you like shit? I have to change out of this leather jacket real quick. Hold on, let me just it says too cool for rules or something.
Yes,
Fuck.
that's exactly what I have to do. I have to change out my leather jacket now. No, I'm good.
How long have you been doing comedy not in a leather jacket?
Believe it or not, 6 years. It will be 7 in October.
Why would I not believe that? You're super fucking funny. If anything,
I
I would
don't
you could
know.
have said longer and I'd be like, oh, that makes sense. You're super
It
fucking funny.
honestly feels like 100 years.
I just hit 14 years and I'm not trying to be like, ah, it's double, but like that really does feel like 100 years. Like every time I think of a shitty joke now, I get a new gray hair. It's like crazy.
Yeah.
I totally feel that. But 7 is such a good year. Like that mark. I felt like I don't know. Like I look when I look back at like every year now, at least I'm like, oh, year 5 sucked, year 6, you know what I mean, and like shit like that. But I'm like that like time period, like year 6, 7, 8. I felt like that was like the shit. I felt like I
Yeah,
was just like, yeah, it's not 10 yet, baby. Still hope. Like it's fucking
yeah,
good.
that's my thing is I've given when I started comedy, I didn't actually think I'd do anything because the scene is although very big and I've met some wonderful people here in the Toronto comedy scene, it's really, really inaccessible. So I was like, I don't know, like I'm probably just gonna do like the Second City show and that'll be it. And then this happened. Um,
You got bit by
so
the bug. It's addicting.
yeah,
The
yeah.
hard part is quitting. Like if I could, if it would be like honestly, quitting after doing it for 14 years sounds sadder than you know, just being whatever after 14 years. So I'm like, I can't at this point. But if I could learn how to quit, I would totally do that. But I wouldn't want to either. You get bit by like not only like the performing and like speaking and stuff and like all your reasons that I do want to hear. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry, but like you know, I love the just even hanging out with comedians and shit. Like shit, I want to do this, you know, like just hang out and talk, you know.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but like something kept you in it, something that made you want to do it, and you're fucking funny. It was probably that.
So what happens is I have tried to quit. I have thought about quitting or tried to quit at least once every year I've been doing stand up. And what
Not
happens
bad.
is I'm like, I'm gonna quit, but first I'm gonna do all of the shows I've committed to, and then I'm gonna quit. And what happens is I will do those shows, and then people will be like, "Hey, you want a spot on like this show? And I will just be like, yes, yes, I do. And it
I
never
mean, technically, you're not breaking your rules. Like when the shows stop, you'll quit. So when
yeah,
that day comes, that's when the gas station tour starts.
yeah,
Keep you back.
yeah,
And I think it's I peeled back the curtain on it. It was you talking about Sammy tacos.
yeah.
Do you wanna talk about Sammy tacos and then I'll tell
Sure,
you the actual
sure,
Sammy
sure.
tacos?
So if I remember correctly, Brian was opening for Sammy Tacos. Or wait, no, I think
You're
Sammy.
talking about the origin of the joke teeth are weird.
Yeah, yeah. So I think no, Brian wasn't opening for Sammy Tacos. Brian was opening for somebody else. Um, and the host was Sammy Tacos, I think. And anyways, no. Brian was opening for Sammy Tacos, and then the host had to go to the bathroom and was like, "Can you take over for this guy for can you take over for me?" And I guess the guy got really nervous and was just like, "Teeth are weird, eh?"
Honestly, not that far off. I love the
Yeah.
game of telephone it starts because okay, I'm gonna tell everyone and you everything. So teeth are weird is a thing that's been in the Riff Bowl for a mic that Ham and I used to run in person and then translated to Zoom comedy. It was the only riff that was always in the riff because of a comedian named Fajita Beds. And you made up the name Sammy Tacos the one time. Because also the thing is you're supposed to pull the riff and everyone has their own teeth are weird joke. And mine is that they're bones on the outside of your body. It's just everyone has like the aristocrat joke. Like everyone has their own spin to it. Like
Yeah.
that's the joke is that there is no joke because of fajita beds, but you made up Sammy Tacos, so we've always just talked about Sammy Tacos now as if it's a person, and like I love like that's the most beautiful part about it. So the real story is I was filming a sketch like special thing for my old Roku channel, Public Access and Chill, and I needed a stunt double for my set in one of it, and it fajita beds in a wig. So I go, all you have to do is just go out there and say a joke, and I'm just gonna go to the bar and like take a piss and like grab a beer. Like that's all you got to do. I'm gonna do do one of your bits or say bullshit. I don't give a fuck because the whole gag was I was filming a special, but I kept getting interrupted. Like the pizza guy came in, like a guy came in delivering a pizza. And then I'm like, hey, I'm filming a special. You think you could do this? And then he comes up there and does a joke and crushes. You know what I mean? I keep getting interrupted. So I just go up there and fajita beds in a big afro wig. Just you said it correctly. Like got like scared and just went, teeth are weird and just like stared, and I just like pushed him off stage, went thanks, all right, like you did it. And it was just always a forever joke. But the name Sammy Tacos has been like so fucking funny because I was like, god, that's such a better fucking name. Like, and that's what's been so funny about it. And also I just love the way you tell the story because it kind of changes every time because it just becomes like the way comedians embellish it, but also the way we remember things. And it's just like, it's just so fucking funny. Like, I loved it. And that's what the gas station thing is too, is I think we just joked at a mic one time that I love to eat gas station snacks after shows. And you were like, yeah, we don't have that shit in Canada. And you're like, I'm going to come hang out with y'all and go on tour. And and now we just plug it anytime. I'm like, yeah, me and Desiree are on tour. Like, I don't know. And they just pick like 3 months from now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to keep you still doing comedy. I'll book you out like real far.
Yeah.
So we'll get that show in 6 months.
So I don't quit.
Yeah. I mean, I've quit once a year isn't that bad. I've quit way more than that.
I think about quitting once a year and then it never happens because I more than I want to quit stand up, I don't want anyone to be mad at me. So, so I'm going to do the show because I've committed to it.
I'm gonna continue to hate myself whether I like it or not.
It
No.
usually gets better after a while.
It gets I think I said this last night to a room full of people that weren't listening, but every time an open micer gets a compliment, that keeps them around for 6 more months. I think that's true for good comedians too. Like
Yeah,
just that,
yeah,
that shucks, you like my stuff in the parking lot. Like, gee, gosh golly, you thought it was funny.
yeah,
If people knew that we would do shows just for that and not like money or free drink tickets or whatever, like shit, we'd be fucked.
yeah, for sure.
Sorry, this is our first lull, I guess. That's not bad.
It's okay. You were drinking
I was
water,
drinking. I
so
was drinking. So are you like always been in Toronto? Like are you not from Toronto? Did you move there like for work, comedy? Like
um, so I was born here and we lived here till I was five or six, and then my dad got a new job and we moved to a place called Waterloo, which is about an hour and a half away from Toronto, and that is mostly where I grew up. And then um, I went to university in St. Catharines, and I have a degree in philosophy. And then you can't really do anything with the degree in philosophy. Like they should have held my graduation at the unemployment office. So then I came to Toronto to do more school, and then I stayed here because I thought it would be good to get a job. And eventually I did get a job, and now I live here like a grumpy adult all the time.
and now look at you, you're a philosopher full time,
No,
pondering
I work
life's
in a
biggest
bank.
questions. You don't well you know you don't have to like I interviewed Paul. He was basically saying the address of the movie theater he worked at. I'm like, all right, Paul, I'm gonna
Aw.
edit all that out. Well, I mean, Paul loves the movies so much, so I never feel like people need to feel the
Oh,
need
just
to
because
name drop.
you asked where he worked, and he
No, I didn't actually. He just brought it up. He's like, "Well, most people know this about me that I work at a movie theater." Like, you know, Paul, typical laid back.
I actually didn't know he worked at a movie
Really?
theater.
Oh,
Yeah.
you should talk to him about it sometime. It's fucking
Okay.
wild.
I knew he did magic, but I did
Yeah.
not know he
Well,
worked
that's
at a
kind of what I
movie
was saying is like,
theater.
don't feel like you need to like say it's like, because don't discredit your comedy and shit too, because it's like, you don't have to be like, I work at whatever, like I don't know, fuck that shit. Like it's you are a philosopher here and here, you know what I'm saying? Every time you're like, I need to write down this dick joke on the back of this receipt or whatever, you're like, I'm philosophizing fuck out of this situation.
All like philosophy academics hate when people are like, comedians are the philosophers of our day.
Yeah,
Because
Norm Macdonald has that really
they're
great joke,
not.
like comedians are the modern day philosopher. It's like, man, that's
Yeah.
really insulting to modern day philosophers.
No, no, like people, we're not. Like that's like being like, I don't know, like a Subway sandwich artist is the modern day surgeon of our time or something. Like
Well, it's like
I
it's
don't
it's like
know.
saying this. It's like saying that it's a sandwich artist. It's like that's not even fucking real bread. Like, what are you talking about? It's a yoga mat. Like, you can't even say sandwich. Like, let alone artist. I used to work at Quiznos, and theirs is better. I was a sandwich architect there, and I
That
really
that is
appreciated it.
hilarious. But that kind of makes more
Architect.
sense because you're building a
That's
sandwich.
what
You're
that's like
not
literally what the handbook would say. Is it
like
makes more sense because you're building the sandwich? You know,
I
you're
mean, if
assembling
we're
the
gonna
parts.
if we're gonna talk semantics, you're more building a sandwich than like art, like creating a sandwich.
Yeah, it's like I love they just do shit like that all the time. Like I used to have a really hacky bit about it where like I forget what this guy was referring to himself as. He was like, it was like something guru, but it was like something so trivial. Like he's the economy guru or something. And then there was another one where he had like something else. And I was like, there's like, you just keep taking like a disaster and then tacking on some sort of like fake like title to it, and that's like a job now. And you'd be like, hey, it's gonna rain, and you're like, how do I know? It's like, well, I'm a fucking tsunami rabbi, so you might want to listen. And then you're like, oh, I didn't know. Shit, I didn't, that's a fucking job. So I don't know, how's that for a philosophy? You could just make up a job and be like, did you know I'm a fucking burrito
That
doctor?
is also not philosophy.
I'm a burrito
To
surgeon. How's
call
that not a
yourself a
philosophy?
burrito surgeon. No,
No, yeah, I'm
this
like,
is
I got a
off the
scalpel.
rails.
I'm
Just
like getting the
off the
sour cream out.
rails. Just off the rails.
So, okay, and for philosophy, did you have to, what was your thesis on? Do they do that? Did you have to do that?
Oh, honestly, I also, you don't know this about me, but I used to competitive swim for 10 years. So I went to university to be
Fuck
on
yeah.
the swim team. So I do have a degree in philosophy, but I wouldn't say it was my passion. It was mostly like what I did to,
Interesting. Well,
yeah.
obviously you didn't follow through with it and stuff, but I was more so like just curious and stuff. But that is like an even more yeah, I guess unique turn. Like
That was the degree I picked so I could swim.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Uh,
my wife did the same thing with like psych, I think it was like psychology, but then
yeah.
changed like last second, still minored in it. So I'm just always curious, like with stuff like that. But that fucking sucks. I just I don't you love
What? What
I
fucking
hate
sucks?
swimming. Sorry, my high school
I
didn't.
like swimming. Yeah, yeah,
Obviously, you were
yeah.
doing it at university, which always sounds fancier than saying college, but I
Oh, we don't. Oh, because in Canada, university and college are two different things.
well, is one free and one's not?
No, 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 no. So university is more academic, and college is more like applied. So like a good example is if you take nursing in college, they will teach you how to put in a G tube, whereas in um university, like you might just learn like theoretical stuff, or like learn about G tubes. Like college is more like practical and university is more theoretical.
Is it more like tech school versus academic school?
Kind of,
But
kind
like
of.
a little more complex than that. I think I see what you're
Yeah.
saying. I think we just consider all of that unobtainable here in America. So
Okay.
we're like, I'm gonna get on Etsy.
Because you have junior colleges, which we don't have.
Do we?
I think so. They're like university prep schools, I think.
Oh yeah, like I guess. And like you can get like college credit like in high school and stuff if you take like an
We have that
eight.
too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't been in school in 15 years, so I'm pretty much checked out. I think I went for liberal art. I didn't even get my associates. I dropped out of
We
a
don't have associate degrees.
oh, junior college, community college.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's I don't think we have those.
That would be like the term for it. But yeah, I dropped out of one of those to get my associates, which is a 2-year degree in liberal arts and sciences, to do stand-up comedy. Because I started comedy when I was 20.
Okay.
So I was dumb. I was DJing and shit. Like, fuck this. I'm gonna
Oh.
go. do something else. I thought I was gonna be real easy. Like I was roasting my friend at a party, and everyone's like, "You should do comedy," and I was like, "I should. I'm great."
That's how it starts, and then you realize it's hard.
What was your like push into it?
Oh, much like you, all of my friends said that I was pretty funny, and then one of my friend's roommates took the second city stand-up one and met her husband in that course. Neither of them do comedy now. She met a lovely man who I believe works in finance,
Smart.
and they live like downtown Toronto. But I was like, I would like to meet someone. I will take a comedy course. I did not meet anyone. Why? Like I didn't get a partner, but I have this lovely comedy career. And I
Yeah.
think we can all agree that's far better than love.
You did find love in comedy, and that's what brought you and kept you there. And hey, it will. I mean, I found my wife doing comedy. We didn't even live in
Really?
the same state. We met doing shows. We met
Really?
at an Yeah, my Ham and I. Okay. So she was in New York State. We probably lived like 3 hours from each other. She was on like a trip in Connecticut or like on the Massachusetts border. And I was like the admin for the Connecticut comedy group at the time. And she messaged me like, "Hey, I'm just nearby. Are there any mics tonight?" And I was like, "There's this one at this bar called Keegan's, which sucks, but it was like right down the street from my house." And I never went, but I did go that night. And then we started talking. She kept fucking talking to me, and Ham's like way too hot for me. So I'm just like sitting there, like, why
I
is
was
this?
gonna say, but you know.
Everyone was gonna say. And fucking she actually just messaged me too. She must know. I'm to go out and say sweet things about her. But yeah, so I was like, why is she talking to me? So like we talk like for hours, and it's like I don't think anything of it necessarily, but I like she's very fucking cute. But we end up like booking each other on like a few things because we both do well at the mic. Like I have a roast show, so I end up booking her on that. She books me on something, I forget what it was, but the roast show, when she comes by, like it was a bracket style that I ran, and so the person she was going against like the day before dropped out, so I had to repull
Oh,
the bracket, and then me and her went against each other, and that was it.
aw,
It was done after that. I was like, I love her.
aw,
And that was the
that's
last
kind
time
of
I won a roast
nice.
battle against Ham Clancy.
Aw, that's kind of nice.
Yeah, it was
Was
very.
her name always Ham?
No, that was a nickname I gave her. And then I got
Okay.
this. Can you even see it? I have a ham tattoo.
You have a ham tattoo?
She drew it. I drew all my own tattoos
Oh,
except that one. So,
oh,
okay.
that's
So
nice.
the ham thing, people fuck my name up all the time.
Yeah, so you went, that's why you go by Brian Barbecue.
Yeah, that's why I changed it.
Yes.
Also, I hate my dad, so I kind of had some like dysmorphia with it for a few years. But yeah, I
Okay,
kind of went back
right.
to my original name because unfortunately, I did comedy under it for 11 years, and I kind of have a lot of credits that I kind of needed, and I fucked myself by just going by barbecue for 3 years. But neither here nor there. That's why I went by Dave Piss for another year. So fucking
Okay.
yeah, I'm fucking nuts. But I was bitching like that everyone fucks my name up, so I might as well change it to barbecue. But in the meantime, I would like fuck my friends' names up on posters, jokingly, like Ham. Her name's Kate Clancy. It's so easy to spell. Like
I know.
so I would like and I'd give her all variations, and Ham was just like one of the nicknames I kind of like gave her because there's all those ones, especially when you first start dating. You have like Baby Love and like all these like goofy ass ones that don't fucking stand the test of time. But Ham would just like kind of stuck, and she started like at least going by it, not on stage yet, but like in person, like pretty much. And then we moved in together pretty immediately, and then I was going to do some shows in Florida with my friend who's a tattoo artist. So I go, hey, draw a ham real quick, and she didn't know why, and I took a little piece of scrap paper, I put it in my wallet, and then I go tattoo this on me. So ham. She didn't even know. She put the heart in it and everything. She was just being cute.
Oh,
Yeah. And I
that's
came back with
nice.
that, and we've been together like 2 months.
Yes. Oh God. Oh
Yeah.
God. Oh
Well,
God. Oh,
yeah, no,
good.
we moved
Good
in
thing you
together. Like
guys got married.
we moved in. No, we moved together, being together. Moved in together after being together for 4 months, long distance. Then we were together for 2 years. Then we got married, and we've been married for 2 years. We're about to have been together for 5 years
Oh wow.
at the beginning of February.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did not know. I assumed like
All because of
you guys.
comedy, because I took that improv class at Second Shitty. Oh shit. I fucked up.
That's your improv troupe
That
for sure.
is that
Yeah.
it's totally not making fun of Second City, a great institution here in the Midwest. I would never. We're clearly making fun of UCB with that name. Fuck up.
That's what I thought right away. Also, friends at home, I thought Ham was a real name in the US.
She
And
does a
I
bit
told
about
my
it.
family as such.
She does a bit about it. I think the
That
punchline is
I
like,
thought
which is so
Ham was a
funny.
real legal name that
Yeah, she's
people
like,
in
my
the
friend from
States.
Canada like thought it was a real name, and she's like,
I
that's so
did.
wild though, because in Canada my name's pronounced Bacon.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's really funny. She's my fave.
Yeah.
So do you still do improv then? So you took improv classes, do you still do
Oh
it?
no,
I mean,
I
clearly I
took
do, but
I took stand up. I took stand up courses. I've
oh,
never really done improv. I'm actually for the friends at home, I'm very serious and not a lot of fun. Um so
this
I
has been a
can't really
blast.
do improv. Um I did I took it I did it a little bit in high school, but not
Yeah.
I wouldn't consider myself an improviser. I don't know if it's like this where you live, but in Toronto, like the improv community and the stand-up community are like very separate.
Yeah, every day at noon we meet in the street and fist fight.
That is also what happens in Toronto. It's a very like West Side story.
It's more so that a lot of dancing and shit talking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot of choreographed dancing and like odd like hand and prop waving.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
it is
yeah,
kind of like that. Well, here, yeah, everywhere, sure. I think the main takeaway is stand-ups are more like for ironic t-shirt sake, lone wolves, like just like curmudgeon, like
yeah,
they don't want to help anybody. They're
yeah,
selfish. Comedians are just selfish assholes. There we go. That's a great way to put it. And then improv people are like, they're not assholes. They're much nicer, but they're not
they're
nice
really
either. They're like
friendly.
nice the way a cult is at a bake sale. Like, you know, like you're like, this is good. But I'm not gonna like hang out afterwards. Like I'm not gonna
No one's
go.
ever tried to get me to do improv.
Well, that's the thing is like no one. That's the thing is people will be like, you should try stand up, but no one does that with improv. Improv, you have to like inquire and then pay them, and then it's like church. You're like, can I go to this church? And they're like, you gonna put money in the basket? And you're like, yeah. And you're like, are you gonna talk? And you're like, no. And they're like, perfect. Like, you know, I don't know. Improv is weird. I'm not the best person to. I haven't done it like consistently or in the most like I don't know proper way. I'm more of like a
Yeah.
sketch improv person because I've been doing sketch comedy probably as long as I've been doing stand up.
Okay, I
'Cause I took
haven't
some
really
improv
done.
shit like in high school and then like throughout doing stand up because I'm like, would I like improv? And then every time I do it, I'm like, nope.
Apparently, it makes you a better stand-up.
I mean, like, yes and no. It depends on like if you riff or not, or like how you riff. Like, you could be like the person that has like the Batman belt, like, and by that I mean like you're just prepared for every situation. Like, you write like a million jokes, so you're like, "What's your name? Where do you work?" And they're like, "Verizon Wireless." And you're like, "Do all your Verizon Wireless jokes on this motherfucker." You know what I mean? That,
Okay.
or you just like confidently are like, "Verizon Wireless, fuck you. I like Sprint." And everyone's like, "Yeah, go. Yes, queen." You know, like shit like that. Cause that's comedy now, is how many yes queens did you get in snaps? No, you know what I mean though? Like it
Is
depends.
it?
Like it's like
Okay.
it's either like, are you prepared or are you just confident and you can like, cause jet by, cause I think, yeah, improv can prepare you for like gut reactions, like just going like immediate. Like that's what I love about the Riff Bowl. Like kind of coming full circle with it is when we used to do it like on Zoom, it's fun, but like, you know, we have to read it to you and be like, your riff from the Riff Bowl is, and then blank. But like when it was in person, we could write like little dares and we'd always say, don't read it out loud, just do what it says. You know what I mean? But
Okay.
there was a lot more subtleties you could do. It'd be like, do like a bad accent or something, or like
No,
row
no.
something. Like, but it wouldn't necessarily be that. Like we weren't like it would more be like do crowd work or something, but like people would just
No.
like, or like do a joke about trains, like just, or like the top, it's usually just a topic more or less. Sometimes it like
Yeah.
to fuck what teeth are weird. There'd always be like some randos like just sneeze for 5 minutes, like we would do shit like that,
Oh,
obviously.
really? That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
like one out of like fucking 50 comedians, sure. And they just wouldn't, they just pick another one, you know. But like that's the thing, is like
Yeah.
they would just look at it and like say it's trains or dogs. You know, they look and go, I got nothing. They would just be like, that's my time. Be like, just try. Just fucking try. You can't even think of something. You can't even think to ask the audience, like, do you like dogs? Yes or no? No? Yeah, I'm more of a cat dude. Let's buy a cat together. There, I gotta laugh. See, that's my time. You know, at least I did it. Like, they would just give up and just be like pouty about it. And I'm like, I didn't make you suck. You just didn't try. You didn't trust your instincts.
Well, what I like about the Riff Bowl is you can tell stories, and like I have a lot of stuff that I think is funny. I just don't know what to do. Like a lot of stuff has happened to me in my life. As oh, I have an album coming out, Friends at Home. It'll be out soon. It's
Yes,
called Everybody Panic.
let's
And
go.
most of it was written on the road. It wasn't, but
It was written, yeah, not sleeping at home. That's for sure.
not, yes, not sleeping at home. That's where I wrote most of the album. Anyways, a lot of stuff has happened to me in my life that I think is hilarious, but I
Yeah.
don't know how to turn it into jokes that other
Well,
people would
sometimes you need the
like.
prompt for sure.
Yeah, and like that's good because then you can tell a story
Yeah.
about like the time you got injured and your dad wouldn't call the ambulance because it's $45.
That's funny because like in
Yeah.
America it's like $9,000.
I don't know what you guys do. Like
We
that
just
was
drive our dude. There's like I was reading something. People just Uber to the hospital or drive themselves, like straight up.
yeah.
They're like, I'll just die in the waiting room, I guess. Straight up. It's fucking, it's wild out here, especially in Nebraska. They're like, medicine. Don't tell me you're one of those vaccine people. And I'm like, and it's like this is like a dentist. You're like, fuck. My dentist is the anti-vaxxer. I didn't even think about this. He's gonna be
Yeah,
in my
you guys
mouth.
have more anti-vaxxers for sure.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
think
big
our
flex.
country is like at least
I
80,
feel like they just need
80 or
to.
90% like two shots.
Yeah, I
A
think
lot of people
like
got
we just
three
need like
shots.
a gun or something. Like if it was like a dart gun, I think like more Americans would feel more
Just
patriotic. Like I
like
got
have a
shot for my
helicopter go
country.
over just shooting people with
Yeah.
a vaccine dart.
It's like
That
in the
might
neck.
work. That
Yeah,
might
I
that
think
might work.
we would be more apt to that. Maybe put like a cool like fake light on it, so it's like high tech. Like
Yeah.
that'd be rad as shit.
I think New York gave people $100 for like getting the
They were
vaccine.
doing weird incentives for a
Yeah.
little while, like we'll buy you some scratch off tickets. Like a lot of states had different. That's what's so fucked about America, honestly, is the whole like states' rights thing. Is that's why nothing will ever get done, is because a state will be like, well, this is how we do it here. Like with the whole legalizing weed, like it's just legal in Canada, right?
Yeah, like
Like different
the
territories
whole
aren't like
country has now legalized weed. Like Justin Trudeau got elected and that was one of the first things he did.
right. Like, but if I'm here and I start blazing in the street, arrested, not even decriminalized, arrested. Like it's illegal here. I
Yeah,
go to
your drug laws
Denver,
are
8 hours away.
harsher.
I'm like fucking getting the key to the city while I'm like blazing up a joint, like at a 20. Like I was in Vegas a week ago and I went to a 24-hour dispensary and I was like burning, I was like hitting one of fucking these in the casino. Like,
Really?
this is lawless. Yeah, they don't give a
Okay.
fuck. I'm like
Because
in the
we're not
arcade,
allowed to
like hitting the
smoke
claw machine, hitting
inside.
this. It's wait, it's sad that I did that, or it's sad that it's not legal everywhere.
No, we're not like in Canada, you're not allowed to smoke anything inside. Like you can smoke in your own residence, but you can't like
Oh, I
smoke
don't think you're
in
technically like
like a
allowed
bar.
to. It's kind of treated like alcohol. It's kind of like if you're not being obnoxious about it, especially with vapes, like you
Oh,
can't just I
really?
don't think I could smoke a blunt in the casino. I think that'd be a little like obnoxious, but
Okay.
you can definitely smoke cigarettes inside. I mean, like Connecticut has two of the biggest casinos in the world, and those you can definitely smoke inside. But the filters in those places, they're like inside cities. They're so big. Like
Yeah.
it's like you smoke a cigarette and like the smoke like doesn't even,
Okay.
it dissipates like immediately how many like filters they have going through those places. Vegas was a little more like old school where you're like, it smells like cigars in here. It's getting that trapped in my hair and stuff. It was nasty.
You're
But
just walking into a cloud of tobacco.
yeah, a lot of places like here, like I've seen them in like Louisiana, they get around it. They'll be like, this is a hookah bar. And then there's just dudes smoking like fucking Pall Malls at the bar and no one's hitting a hookah. They're just smoking cigarettes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like,
Okay.
or like, I don't know, the casinos just got legalized here in Nebraska. So now there's slot machines in like every gas station.
Oh, really?
Our gas stations are lit. This is how we bring it full circle. Like, you got to come down here. You got to try the snacks. We'll get some, like, generic meat sticks because we're not sponsored by anyone like Slim Jims yet or anything.
I would like some generic meat sticks.
Yeah, generic meat sticks. Maybe they got, I mean, shit, they got zero sugar beef jerky now. Times are changing and it's
There's a gas station though where you can get like a skewer of chicken. Or like it's like a burger cylinder. Brianna told me about it. I think it's Wawa. Is that a
oh,
gas
Wawa.
station?
Okay. So
And in Sheets, the place you took AJ.
yeah, so I was gonna say
Go.
Wawa and Sheets is like the big debate of like what's the best gas station food. So what makes both of those places uh similarly and like ultimately like why they're both the best is because they offer something none of the other places offer really, and that's a screen where you don't have to fucking talk to anybody. Just a fucking
Oh.
like you walk up to like a tablet and you architect your own fucking drunk ass sandwich at 3 a.m. and
With
then
the Dr. Pepper sauce.
yeah, but here's the thing is you can do all this crazy shit. You put all this crazy shit like a Dr. Pepper mac and cheese sauce on the sandwich and they make it for you in like 5 minutes. But then and then it prints out a little thing that you bring up to the counter and when you pay for it, because then you can get anything else in the fucking gas station. So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna get a fucking sandwich at Wawa and grab a 2 liter of Mountain Dew and a fucking family size bag of Doritos, and I'm gonna be the biggest bag of garbage on the picnic table outside, and I'm gonna shame my fucking ancestors with what I'm about to do. and then you fucking post up and you fucking make like an event out of it. You're like, I've been sitting in this Wawa fucking outside table for like 2 hours now, and I have like bummed like 9 cigarettes. Like, what the fuck is even going? It's a vibe. Wawa's definitely more sketchy than Sheets, and Sheets is a little more like, oh yeah, that bathroom's definitely gonna be cleaner than any Wawa. You're gonna see some cool stuff. Like, oh, I didn't know you could walk in with no shirt or shoes or anything and you start getting service. That's pretty neat. You need like any of your clothes. This guy's got like a mitten and like a fucking tighty whities on. He's golden. Yeah, he's hanging out. You know, those are the two. So we don't have either in Nebraska. Our quote divine gas station food is Casey's General Store. That was one of the big culinary things that hit me. Yawn indeed, because this is how we're ending it. But like people, when I first moved here, they were literally like, have you ever had a Casey's breakfast pizza? And like they were like waiting for me to be like this is a staple. And I'm like, have I ever had a gas station breakfast pizza? And they're like, and then they'll follow up and be like, oh, when you're fucking drunk, dude, so good. I'm like,
see, I would not get drunk and then be like, let's go get gas station food.
oh, that's part of the
like,
culture.
Can we get pizza or like McDonald's?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things. McDonald's here, don't get me started. I love McDonald's. I'm a huge advocate. They close at like 10 p.m. here. It's
really?
It's lawless.
Really?
So you're forced to buy this scrambled egg fucking microwave DiGiorno fucking slop fest that is the Casey's breakfast pizza. It's like, A, I haven't drank in 5 fucking years. 2, I don't eat carbs. 3, as many hot dogs I eat, I honestly don't think I could subject myself to that level of diarrhea that I think a scrambled eggs and bacon pizza would fucking succumb to.
Oh yeah, you would definitely be getting
yeah. I think the whitest I can go besides like a white pizza is like but like the most honky like fucking kind of pizza I think I can do is I've had mashed potato pizza and that was good. Yeah, that was really good.
I would not think to make a pizza out of or put mashed potatoes on a pizza. America is wild, just wild.
That's what I mean. This is coming from the place that's putting cheese and gravy on French fries. Why don't they put that on pizza, which I'm sure someplace has?
There's probably a poutine pizza somewhere. I just haven't heard of it, but it probably exists.
Yeah. There was a poutine place actually down the street from that Keegan's place where I met Ham. Called the Disco Chicken, and it went out of business so fast.
You guys don't seem to take to the poutine, which is weird.
They don't do it right here.
Okay. You probably do like
they're not aware that it's cheese whiz, like a cheese curd whiz thing. They like America's like, we have this sliced American cheese product. Would you like to try this salty thing? And you're like, well, yeah, you said it was salty, right? We like our salt. We like our sugar and our salt. We like those in our cocaine. We like all that white granular sand shit here in the US of A. I don't fucking know. But I do know we came like full circle on all of our things. Desiree.
Mostly.
I had fun. Do you have any plugs though for real? Like where should people check out the special like that will get you where's the album coming out on?
The album is coming out on all platforms that you can buy, I guess, comedy albums like Spotify and Apple Music and stuff.
Fuck yeah.
You should follow me on Instagram. Friends at Home. It's Desiree.lisa.walsh _ and I should have like a link to my album and stuff. It's really good. Please buy it. I wrote most of it during quarantine. We originally um, recorded the album on Zoom, but apparently radio stations have standards, so you can't submit a Zoom file. But myself and Kelly Zemeckis partnered with Howell and Roar to produce albums, and mine is called Everybody Panic, and hers is Sugar and Spice and Smirnoff Ice, I think.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
so you should check those out. I would really like that.
I will send
Um,
me a link once it's all out or when you have it, and I'll put it in the description of this when I
yeah,
upload everything so people
and
can just
watch my
click it.
special, Comedy Invasion. It was good. I worked hard on it.
She worked hard
And
on it and it's fucking amazing. I was awesome. I had a great
there's
time.
also lots of other great comedians there too. But
No, none of them get shout outs. How dare
oh
you?
really? I like all of them
No, of
so
course. That's all.
much.
I'm glad. Hey, that it's one thing to have like your special and then like it's good too, but like the fact that it's amongst other good specials, like very
Yeah,
few people can
yeah,
say that. That's amazing. I'm happy
and
for you.
that's one of the
Truly.
things I like. Like I we had a world premiere in Toronto where they showed all of the specials, and it was 4 hours of comedy, which is quite frankly, even if the comedy is good, a little bit too much
That's
comedy.
long.
But one of the things I liked is like some of my friends came, and there was at no point where I was like, I'm really sorry this happened. All of the comedians were very like quality and good, and like
Yeah.
there was no apologizing, which was nice.
Good. Good. Because that's one thing, like, you always want them wanting more. And for anyone to just walk away like enjoying comedy after 4 hours of comedy, and it wasn't a Chappelle or a Dane Cook fucking hostage situation, like when they were going for that world record, that's a win in my book. I'm
Oh,
so
I didn't
fucking
know
happy
that
for you.
happened. I
Yeah, it
didn't
was like back in the
know.
day, they were like trying to do like
Oh,
8 hour
really?
sets. I'm like, why are you trying to fucking like subject people to this horse shit? Like,
Because eventually it would just start be you yelling trailer parks are a good place to camp.
yeah, honestly, I've done it. I'm not. It's true. They're fun.